It's been an interesting day today. So it's been cold and then hot and then
Yeah,
it's Florida weather. What do you
maybe that's
think?
how you got sick.
I think so too. And then they
Yeah.
keep they keep the air conditioner at work like crazy. It's so cold. You have to bring a blanket just to even work.
You ready to get the show on the road?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Happy birthday to you.
My fellow Americans, this nation was founded by men of many nations and backgrounds. It was founded on the principle that all men are created equal.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
It's November 22nd, 2022. 59 years ago today. Where were you on November 22nd, 1963, when the face of America was changed? Hello, everybody. I am your host, Mad Dog DeCipio, joined as I am each and every week by the Pitbull, Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman. Happy birthday, kid.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You have the unusual distinction of having your birthday fall on one of the saddest days in American history.
Yes, I do, unfortunately.
Assassination of President Kennedy,
Hmm.
and Amelia shares her birthday with us. It's got to be very nerve wracking. That when you were growing up, have you been the butt of like jokes about that, or but did anybody like ever make any commentary towards you?
Well, a lot of that I was like, oh no, it's John F. Kennedy. Oh no, but then I was like, well, you know what? I don't care because I have the same birthday as Jamie Lee Curtis. So Michael Myers will come get you. So I come back
Hey,
with
all right.
that.
Man, the Jamie Lee Curtis's birthday today?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, she's
Yep.
another one.
Yes.
By the way, on this date in history, in 1963, in addition to losing President Kennedy, because the news was overshadowed with the death of the president, Aldous Huxley
Mm-hmm.
also died on this
Oh.
day in 1963. Aldous Huxley was an incredibly prolific writer, philosopher, thinker, critical thinker before his time. So, but today we go back. We're going to go back in time. We're going to go back to 1963. Many of you will remember seeing this photo, probably on the cover of Life magazine, or news or Newsday, as it was called back then, or maybe you saw this photo, Lee Harvey Oswald, or maybe you're old enough to have seen this picture when it happened. If not, you're going to see it tonight. Tonight, we are going to go back in time and try and figure out who would benefit from having a president killed and in broad daylight and very publicly. So, Amelia, what do you know besides you share his birthday? What do you know about President John F. Kennedy and what happened on this day?
Well, basically, I mean, I learned a lot from researching this because basically what we were taught in school was that Lee Harvey Oswald did it, period. And basically,
Well, that's an interesting point. You know, we
Mhm.
all learned that Lee Harvey Oswald killed President Kennedy, but now we
Mhm.
realize after all these years, and thanks to information coming out, and thanks
Mhm.
to people talking,
Yes.
and thanks to the truth finally being able to get
Mhm.
out now, we're finding out that perhaps Lee Harvey Oswald not only in more probability than not, I want to
Mhm.
be careful saying this.
Mhm.
In all probability, he did not shoot John F. Kennedy. In all probability, the government killed the president. I
Mhm.
say the government meaning the FBI and the CIA. Why? Why those two particular groups? What do you think those two groups may have had to gain?
Probably the higher ups had something to do with that, and they had them, of course, under their belt, as they say, or protecting them because they had more secrets that President Kennedy knew.
Well, you know, you're actually not too far off.
And I think also there's probably some more suspects that people did not know of.
Oh, there's a lot more suspects.
And I
the,
had one
the
in
list of
mind too.
suspects
So,
is very, very big.
mhm,
But
mhm,
tonight, you're going to see the prime suspect,
yes,
and we have a name for this suspect. You're going to see him. Everyone said when he got killed that the shot came from the grassy knoll.
right.
Everybody that was
Mhm,
there. Despite the fact the government wants you to believe that Lee Harvey Oswald, a mediocre shot at best,
yes,
shot from a window a block away
right.
from the Texas School Book Depository,
Mhm,
6 floors up with a rifle that barely worked. Are you shitting
mhm,
me? In case you want to know, I'm going to tell you a little something.
mhm.
The, the I'm laughing. The weapon he used. I'm laughing because I know where I'm going with this.
Right. I know too. So,
Okay. The weapon he used was called a Carcano bolt action rifle.
mhm,
It's made in Italy. It's an Italian rifle. Back in the day, you could order them by mail.
mhm,
I swear to God, you could order them by mail and they would send them to you, right?
right.
This weapon was so haphazard, you could barely break your skin using it. A bullet would barely penetrate your skin. They were horrible rifles.
Mhm,
That shot that took out the president, that was from a high powered singular barrel weapon that was meant for business.
right.
And
Correct.
John F. Kennedy saw the business end of that barrel. And
Right.
you're going to see it tonight.
Mhm,
Here is what I say based on the historical evidence. The FBI stood to gain from President Kennedy being killed. Also, the CIA. J. Edgar Hoover, the head of the FBI, had an interest in Kennedy's removal. Why? Because you couldn't control President Kennedy. The CIA, Allen Dulles, where have you heard that name before? Where have I mentioned that name?
I don't remember. Can you?
I'll give you a clue.
Mhm.
Happy birthday, Mr.
Oh, yes, he's
President.
the one that introduced Marilyn Monroe when the birthday.
Exactly.
Mhm,
All right.
mhm,
Allen Dulles was the head of the CIA.
mhm.
A very likable man, if you look at him. He was
Oh,
always
yes, he was a bald gentleman. Yes,
a
in that
bald
picture.
gentleman that was
Yes.
always smiling,
Mhm.
but he was a stone cold killer.
Yes.
Both men knew that John F. Kennedy could not be controlled and he had to go. Why? Here's what was going on. Lyndon Johnson was an oil man, a
Uh-huh.
Texas oil man. He wanted to go into Vietnam and extract some oil. Oh, and by the way, the CIA wanted to go in and extract some drugs. What drugs exist? We talked about this, you and I, Amelia. What
Yes.
drugs exist
Oh,
in Vietnam?
let's see. Well, let's see. We have opiates. We have cocaine. We
Uh-huh.
have all that.
Absolutely. You
And
said
then,
the two big ones:
yeah, and then of course,
opiates, coke,
cocaine and
poppy,
poppy seeds.
poppy,
Yeah. And then
fields and fields of
fields.
poppy
Yeah.
flowers.
Yeah, that's what makes that. And then of
Yeah.
course, let's see. Of course, you can make acid with that, and of course, you can make all these other type of drugs
Oh
that I
yeah,
can't
you
even.
make it. It's a
Mhm.
virtual cocktail.
Mhm.
This is a virtual cocktail of
Mhm.
a who's who of
Mhm.
how to make your favorite drugs.
Oh, of course.
I want to show people. You know how we love to show videos,
My show
right?
and tell videos. Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna. I want people to take a look at some because I got a lot of video tonight. I broke the record. We have 19 videos tonight.
Oh, wow. Yay.
19. This is called the Hughes video. You're going to see another video that looks remarkably similar called the Orville Nix video film. Okay. The reason they look so similar is because Orville Nix and Mrs. Hughes, I think it was Mrs. Hughes,
Mhm.
were standing about 20 feet apart. So the angle is almost identical. Take a look at this.
Mhm.
Just take a look. It's pretty good for back in the day. Pretty good color film.
Absolutely good film back in the day.
Okay.
Oh,
Did you see that?
yes.
Did you see? I want people to look again. I
Right
want
there.
I want to stop that. I want you to look
Mhm.
again. Okay. You see the man in that red shirt running
Yes.
up the steps?
Mhm.
Okay. He's running up the steps toward this big brick wall. And I'm going to show you why he's running up there.
Mhm.
You're going to see it in just a second because you're going to see this a couple times. Where's everybody running, Mill?
They're running towards the president right there because of the shots already been fired, right?
Yeah, sort of. But my point is, they're running
Mhm.
toward. They're running
Oh, I
toward.
see the shooter. They heard somebody. They're running away. Yes, they're running
Yeah,
because they saw him
they're
with the gun,
running
with the
to
rifle.
that wall. That's where they're
Mhm.
running.
Yeah, because they heard the shot fired from that
Yeah.
area, or they heard something that
Now you're going to see another piece of film.
Mhm. Is that the other one that Mrs.
This is
Hughes?
the Knicks film.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, it's very similar.
What? Very. Now
Very.
I want you to look because there's a man standing here.
Mhm.
Do you see that wall? And you see
Yes.
that little area on the wall that's built up.
Oh,
Right?
yes. Uh-huh.
There's a man right next to that, and he's leaning like this. Okay.
Oh, he's ready to shoot.
He already did. You
Okay.
can literally, you're looking at the muzzle blast.
Oh my goodness.
You're looking at the muzzle blast coming out of the rifle. You're looking at it. It's right there.
How many feet is that from there?
About 65 to 70 feet,
Mhm.
they estimated. It's very, very close with a high speed, high resolution weapon. and that thing will take you out. You're going to see what it did to John F. Kennedy's head. And now the guy runs. He drops the weapon, and actually, he didn't drop the weapon. He takes it with him. Okay. Now, watch this. Okay.
So he was probably his cover man. Said, "Let's go. You know, you did it. Let's go."
Right?
Hmm
Now,
Because
let's
there's
take a
no
look at it.
way that shot could have come from a block away.
Oh, absolutely
No.
not. Oh, no.
That proves it right there.
Let me tell you something, Amelia.
Mm-hmm.
If you, your husband was in the military, so he knows.
Oh,
okay?
yes.
If you tell Jeff, Angelo said, find him a marksman that can hit a moving target from a block away.
Oh, yeah. He was an expert at the
Please.
M16.
I want to see this guy work.
Oh, yeah.
Let's watch this.
Yes.
Okay. This is a slow motion version of the Orville Nix film. Okay. I want you to notice something. There are two people. There's a woman there. She's a woman in that like brown coat.
Yes.
And there's a woman in a black coat on the right hand side. Okay. Okay, watch. I want you to just watch those two people. Did you see the bullet? Because you can see it. Wow.
Oh, yes.
There it is.
Yeah, you can see that thing just.
The guy is now, he's getting out of Dodge. He's leaving now. What I find interesting is that they slowed down. Why would you slow down? Easy. To get a better target.
Yes. To make sure that if they needed another shot, they could get another shot just in case that one didn't do it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Watch this. This is the Orville Nix film, Stabilized. Now, you really got to pay attention to this. Because I'm going to play it again. Just watch it carefully. It's very small frame, but it's absolutely critical. You can actually see the man on that wall. You can actually see, you're going to watch him. Watch him. Watch this. Boom.
Yep.
There it goes. It's remarkable.
Yeah. Now I see how they break stuff like that frame by frame for like court cases and stuff like that. And
yeah.
And anything that's missing, of course, you're gonna miss the key points. You're gonna want to put.
Right.
At the time the shots were fired.
You've heard me mention the name Orville Nix.
Yes.
The Nix film. This is Orville Nix. He's a simple guy from Texas, older gentleman. He's got nothing to gain, nothing to lose.
Did you look at the book depository building?
No.
Did you think at that time that the shots came from the book depository building?
No, I thought it came from a fence between the book depository and the railroad track.
You hear what he's saying?
Did anyone else who you know or who you've spoken with also believe that the shots came from there?
Most everyone thought it came from the...
Did you hear what he just said?
Fence and railroad tracks and the depository, yes.
Yeah, but what did he just say?
He thinks it came from there.
No, it's not what he said. What? Watch. Yeah. I'll play it again.
At the time the shots were fired, did you look at the book?
Just listen to what he's saying. Just all you have to do is listen.
Yeah.
Listen to what he's saying.
Depository building.
No.
Did you think at that time that the shots came from the book depository building?
No, I thought it came from a fence between the book depository and the railroad track.
Did anyone else who you know or who you've spoken with also believe that the shots came from there?
Most everyone thought it came from the fence behind the book depository.
Did you hear what he said?
Yes, most everyone thought
Almost
it came.
everybody thought that the bullet came from the fence, not the book depository.
Mm-mm.
You have occasion to
That's
speak
what I
with
wanted
Forrest
you to look
Sorrells,
at.
who was, of course,
Very
a
important.
friend of yours, and the Secret Service agent in charge of Dallas that day.
Yes, I did.
Did he tell you where he thought the shots came from?
He thought they were coming from the same place.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Again, did you hear what he said?
Yes, the Secret
A
Service
friend
thought.
of his is a Secret Service agent,
Mhm.
and the Secret Service agent said
He
we
thought that they
think
came from the
it
same
came
place.
from the fence.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know who come up with this concocted idea, because I've got news for you. I've got declassified.
Mm-hmm.
I have, by the way, in case anybody wants copies of these, I'll send them to you.
Mm-hmm.
I have declassified Kennedy documents here. And it's very, very interesting that some of these documents, in fact, most of them, contradict each other in remarkable ways. For example, there are police officers that have given sworn testimony that they heard and saw the shot come from the grassy knoll.
Grassy knoll. Mm-hmm.
That's what Orville Nix just said. Okay? Watch this. I want you to watch this. You're going to see something you've never seen before. Amelia, pay attention to this. Stop looking at me. Okay. Another interesting situation here. You got the presidential limousine. You got the chaser car behind there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Only listen to this one. You can see it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Only one Secret Service agent went to help. One.
Right. Just one.
His name was Clint Hill. Okay? Clint Hill. One person. You got two motorcycle cops and a car full of Secret Service agents.
Mm-hmm.
You mean to tell me one guy, the president of the United States, just gets his head blown off?
I would be
one
swarmed
guy-
with people. You should have been
Well, yeah,
swarmed
one
with all the.
guy- Watch. Here we go. Watch. This is what I want you to look at,
Mm-hmm.
because you're going to see the shooter. Everybody watching this, watch carefully. You're going to see for the first time the guy who killed President Kennedy, because he's right there. And you can see the gun, the barrel of the gun is sticking right out. And he doesn't rush to get away. He takes his time. Why? Because there's a car waiting for him. Waiting for him. This guy knows he's got all the time in the world, because everybody now, it's so chaotic,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's so chaotic, all this confusion going on. He's taking advantage of it. He takes his rifle, he sticks it under his arm, he walks away.
Right.
Watch this. They knew he was going to get hit. They knew it. And they slowed down the car and made it happen. And he had that shooter had a clear shot like
yes.
nobody's business. I want you to watch what Jackie does. There are people, again, tonight, we're not going to talk so much about the assassination, but we're going to examine the evidence. We're examining the evidence and the film, okay? And the all of this wonderful stuff that all this stuff they have. Okay? It's important because we've been lied to for so long.
I would say so, especially in our history books. We were taught the wrong thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Of course you are. You don't think the government's going to tell you the truth? Are you
of course not. Yeah, they just put a little bit of history books and there you go. They teach it and that's it.
Well, take a look at this. You tell me. I want you to look at Jackie Kennedy. You tell me, is she up to no good or is she just trying to get the hell out of that car?
I think she's up to no good. Somebody guilty would be getting out of that car.
Here's what people say. The conspiracy theorists say that Jackie made a deal to kill the president because she was fed up of his womanizing.
Yes.
He was flaunting Marilyn Monroe and making. We already know he made no secret about it.
Oh, of course not.
We saw the pictures of her grabbing his junk.
Yes.
We saw. Can't you look? You can't. I swear to you. You can make shit up about this, but the truth is so much more bizarre.
Oh yeah, we showed the pictures twice.
Yeah. Look, I'll show them again in this program if you want.
Yeah, we showed him already twice, and then of course him hugging her and everything.
Take a look at Jackie, and you tell me that she pulled the trigger. Because there's another. It's interesting. There's another picture, another film that shows Jackie dropping a gun down and then getting the hell off of that car. I'll be honest with you, I think she was in on it.
I think so too. Because especially the way he fell the first time, like
now,
that.
Watch. Jackie, slow motion and close up. It looks like she's got his arm around him going, you miserable son of a bitch, I'll blow your fucking brains out.
Yes.
You know?
And if it makes sense, especially if she's left-handed, she would have shot him, and of course he would have laid it over like that.
Hey, Diana's with us now. Hey, Diana, how you doing?
And she says, "Okay, I did it. I'm done. I'm getting out of here." But she couldn't get out in time.
You heard what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
Clint Hill was the only Secret Service agent caught on film responding during the assassination. The only one. I want you to look at that picture.
Yes.
There's a picture there. There's 5 Secret Service agents and 2 motorcycle cops.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You mean one guy jumped in to help? Are you kidding me?
And wouldn't the motorcycle cops go closer when that happened as well? They stayed behind.
Well, they stayed behind. Yeah, they pulled behind is what they did. They laid back.
Mm-hmm.
They were told to stand down. You know what that term means?
Yeah, don't do anything.
Stand down means don't do shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's Clint Hill. Okay. Read this. Secret Service agent John Reddy on the opposite side of the car began to respond but was called back.
Mm-hmm.
He was told to stand down
Mm-hmm.
by Emery Roberts, agent in charge of the presidential protocol. So you just answered, is there a conspiracy? You just answered the question right there. The government just told you there's a conspiracy. By the way, there's John Reddy, the officer with his head turned behind. The guy on the left. That's the picture. The man on the right is the back of the head you're looking at right there.
Yes.
There he is, right there. Now, Clint Hill, he jumped into action. That man was a freaking hero that day. You realize he's running with that car.
Yes.
And the car is speeding up.
Because they got their thing. We did it. He's done. He's dead. Let's go fast, probably.
Okay. Now, here's another thing we got to talk about. You want to talk about a good conspiracy, Million?
Yeah. 4 frames ago, there was something that they were looking at behind a wall, standing next to a wall.
You want me to go back? Is that what you want me to do?
Uh-huh. I was going to show something here.
Okay. So where are we going here?
Go back. When they were showing the back of their heads.
Oh, you mean Agent John Reddy?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes.
Driver, right? No, this is still the Secret Service.
Yeah.
Now, this is the driver of the presidential limousine. Again, if you love a conspiracy, this is the one. What we have here is very interesting because, again, if you believe the eyewitnesses, some people say, again, I can't make this up.
Right.
Go online if you think I'm kidding. Some people say they saw the driver shoot the president. So you've got the guy in the grassy knoll, the president's wife, and the guy driving the car. Well, let's watch. Let's see. Hey, watch. Now, what do you think they're doing?
They're plotting something. They're getting ready to do something.
To me,
Mhm.
all it looks like to me is the drivers are turning around to see what the hell's going on back there.
Mhm.
Because at this point, I really don't believe the driver knew.
No.
Let's take a look. This is the background, all the background. Okay. You see that? You see that image?
Yes.
That's Abraham Zapruder. That's the guy that took the Zapruder film. That's him right there. They say that's him standing on that wall.
Mhm.
But his secretary said he was standing on the ground.
Hmm.
So let's take a look. Well, there's somebody standing on that wall.
Well, right. It looks like a woman standing on that wall.
But it don't look like, thank you.
Right?
You know why it looks like a woman?
Because she's wearing a dress.
Because her legs are out.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like Abraham Zapruder.
No.
That looks like a chick up there.
Yeah.
Because there's it looks like a dress and that looks like a leg.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right. It's like that's a woman filming that right there, probably. Or somebody's up there.
Well, you got to remember something, too.
Mhm.
At this point in time, Abraham Zapruder is almost 70 years old.
Mhm.
At the time, he's almost 70. You think a guy 70 years old is going to be climbing
Not up
walls?
way up there. No. No, no, no.
Are you shitting me? Let's take a look. I don't care what you say, that's not true.
No.
I don't care what you say. That, to me, that's a woman.
That is a woman.
Amelia, you got any questions so far for this?
Yeah. First of all, why would they want to frame the president of the United States for something like that? Why would they want to set him up for that?
Lots of reasons. He was about to get rid of the federal bank, the Federal Reserve Bank. A lot of big money is kept in the Federal Reserve.
Mm.
The other thing about that you need to understand is the Federal Reserve Bank sounds like it's a part of the government, right?
Right, right.
But it's not. Think about what it's called, the Federal Reserve.
Right.
It sounds federal, doesn't it?
All right, but it wouldn't be.
It's a private bank.
Mm-hmm.
It's a private bank with gazillionaires and trillionaires
Mm-hmm.
who keep their fucking money in there. And they decide what your money is worth. Okay? A bunch of people who don't even work for the government are going to tell you what your money is worth. By the way, they're a bunch of Zionist Semite bankers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's what they are. And we're going to do a whole show on the Zionist Semites.
Right.
Because I about fucking had it here with the fucking Zionist Semites.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So we're going to talk about that. But that's one reason. The other reason is he was preparing to crack down on this kind of backdoor dealing. You know, that but big thing in Washington is called a lobbying.
All right.
Okay? Where, you go in and you try to influence, senators and congressmen.
Right. I get your vote if you do this for me.
That. The other thing he was trying to do is to cut the funding and budgets for organizations like FBI, the CIA, the State Department, the military. Okay. He was a president in peacetime.
Right.
Okay. He did not want to go into Vietnam. He sent people to Vietnam initially as an exploratory team to see what was going on. Lyndon Johnson wanted to go to Vietnam. Why? Because he's a Texas oil man, piece of shit, who stood to gain a ton of fucking money when he became vice president. Oh, and by the way, consequently, when Kennedy died,
he became president.
And I'm going to show you an interesting picture.
And he had the power, so he could pretty much do what he wanted after that.
Well, and he sure the hell didn't. He screwed up the country royally. He sure the fuck did. Lyndon Johnson is going to go down in history as one of the worst. Him and Joe Biden.
Yes.
Remarkable.
Yeah, and that to me is like, wow. I just don't understand too why he would want coverage.
Okay. You're looking at the steps there. Remember you saw the guy with the red shirt? Okay. Well, there's a woman with him right there. It's a husband and wife, an elderly couple. They heard that shot was right next to them. Okay. They saw the shooter.
Yes.
They saw the shooter. They said they saw a police officer with a cap and a uniform and a badge carrying a rifle. Imagine that. Okay. Carrying a rifle right there. You know?
Yeah. And back then they wouldn't, it's not like these days now where you would see somebody protecting the president. It was not common back then like it is now.
Exactly. Exactly. It's interesting stuff. This is, I'm going to show you now this is a much shorter film. Again, you're going to see Orville Nix. Okay? Watch it.
Depository building.
No.
At that time, that the shots came from the book depository building.
No, I thought it came from a fence.
You see where everybody's running?
Yes.
They're all running to that fence.
Mm-hmm.
Between the book depository and the railroad track.
Does anyone else who you know or who've spoken with also believe the shots came from there?
Most everyone thought it came from the
Hey, you know what he looks
behind
like?
the book depository.
Say again?
He looks like he's reading off some cards.
You're not the first person to say that.
He looks like it's like somebody's holding up some cards for him to read. Like he's forgetting. If you forget your lines, look at these cards.
You're not the first. You're actually not the first person to say that.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing about this man Orville Nix,
Mm-hmm.
some people they never heard of him until this video came out.
Could
They
he be
said
an
that.
actor?
Well, I don't think so.
Uh-huh.
I believe Orville Nix is who he says he is. I believe that he spoke the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I think what you see him doing
Mhm.
is he's looking at the camera
Mhm.
this way. He's looking at the camera here. But there's a reporter next to him, and he's going like this. And then he's looking at the camera. He's listening to the reporter, then he's answering the camera.
Mm-hmm.
You like what I'm doing right now.
Right.
Okay, so let's listen.
Did you have occasion to speak with Forrest Sorrells, who was, of course, a friend of yours, and the Secret Service agent in charge of Dallas that day?
Yes, I did.
Did he tell you where he thought the shots came from?
He thought they were coming from the same place,
Which is?
behind the fence.
Okay. You're looking at the shooter right there. Let me know when you see it, Amelia.
It's a little blurry, but
Well, yeah, because it's been magnified like almost
Mhm.
300 times.
wow.
There's the muzzle blast.
Mm-hmm.
There's the badge on his lapel. He's
Mhm.
wearing glasses. There's his hair. Watch. Just watch. Just watch. Don't make yourself crazy. Just watch. See, Orville Nix captured JFK's shooter on film. You're going to see it right now. And I'm going to show you. There he is, right there.
Okay, there he is.
Okay. He's right there.
Mm-hmm.
He's standing like this.
Yep, from plain sight. Everybody can see him right there if they just turned around.
Hiding in plain sight. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Watch. And he's wearing a police uniform. See where he is, where I was saying before?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
There, he's right there.
Right there, and
I
everybody
mean-
can see him right there.
Anybody looking in that direction can see him. He's right there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what? You ever have when you were a kid? You ever play a game of Duck, Duck, Go?
Yeah, duck, duck, goose, and then you hit the person and they run. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, this is a little different. This is called Duck, Duck, Go.
Mm-hmm.
What you do is you duck You
Yeah.
lift, you duck, you lift,
Mm-hmm.
and then when it's clear, you go.
Ah, I see.
That's what this shooter was doing. He was. Think of it like this.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the wall, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's going like this, right?
Oh, I see.
He's going like this.
Mm-hmm.
Then he's got an open shot. He takes his shot, and then he disappears behind the wall again. And he just took his time leaving.
Yeah, because who would think it was a police officer?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You see it? He's moving up there. Look.
Yeah. Moving like this, and then.
Yeah, he's not even trying to hide.
Mm-mm. Yep.
You see it now?
Yes.
Okay. Let me show you what you're looking at. He's got glasses on. There's
Mm-hmm.
his hair. You can see his ears.
Mm-hmm.
There's the badge.
Yes.
Look on his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
See his shoulder.
Yes.
There's a police patch
Mm-hmm.
on his shoulder. His elbow was bent like this because he's got a rifle in his hand.
Yeah, like that. Mm-hmm.
And that's the muzzle blast. And you're going to see it again. It's remarkable. It really, really is. Okay. You see?
Yes.
They called him the badge man. There's his forehead, the muzzle
Mhm.
flash, face, the badge, shoulder patch. And then wait till you see my picture. Because I enhanced it a little bit more. You can really see it. You see the patch?
Dallas Police Department.
Right, watch this. There's the badge, there's the patch.
Mm-hmm.
Let's watch the badge man again. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yep.
And he's right there.
Yep. Wow, who would think that you could think that you could trust a police officer, and back then and
Well, we don't know if he's a police officer.
right. It could
He's
have
a
been
sharpshooter wearing a cop uniform, is what he is.
yeah.
Look, the Dallas Police Department's got some good cops, but they don't shoot like this.
No, could have been a marksman
Clearly a marksman.
from a military.
Absolutely military.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is the scene that everybody has missed for so many years. The real gunman where I pointed him out.
Mm-hmm.
There's the grassy knoll and everybody running in that direction. All right. Yeah. Now, you got any questions about that one?
That was just like, people would, me as a little kid, if I was something like that, I'd be like, why would somebody as a policeman do something like that? Because you were taught to, trust the police. And then, like you said,
Well,
if
do
it
you
was a
have a
marksman,
question, though? Is this what I
yes.
was doing?
No, it's like, why would people running up toward the shot? Wouldn't you think that they would be running opposite the shot?
You would think so.
Yeah.
It would make sense.
Mm-hmm. And then
But
also, why would they just have the one person guarding the president and instead of more than one
well, no, they had a lot of people guarding him,
in the beginning? But why
but
just the
only
one?
one person responded. There's
Really?
something you need to know about Secret Service agent Clint Hill.
Mm-hmm.
He was assigned to protect Jackie Kennedy.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Jackie, that was his
really?
target. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Google him.
Yeah.
Google him, Clint
Mm-hmm.
Hill.
Yes.
Absolutely. Look, you can't make this shit up.
Yeah, I know. I just was surprised that nobody. I mean, if it was the president, it would be swarming him to make sure that there wasn't any more shots at
You
all
would think
towards,
so, right?
especially the governor of
Let's
Dallas.
watch this.
You know, you would think. Unless, too, they could have been having an affair. You never know. There's another side of the coin.
Well, it's funny you say that. It's funny you say that. Let's pull this
Were
back
they?
for a second. Because
That'd be my other question. Were they having
it,
an affair?
they abso-fucking-lutely were. They absolutely were.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That was my other question. So thank you.
Yeah, Diane says, you don't make a shot like that without lots of practice.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for waking us up. You are quite welcome.
Yes.
Quite welcome. Yeah, watch this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Take a really, really good. Everybody was concentrating on the president's car.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What I do,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a little different, what I do is I look at the background. I
Yes.
look at like what doesn't belong here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kind of like Sesame Street. One of these things is not like the other.
And I also see something that's not really right there as well. I look at that sign and it was daylight. That sign's too dark to be in the daylight.
That's just shadowing.
Oh, is it shadowing?
Yeah.
And also, I heard too that when the FBI came and the CIA came to get the people that were there to try to question as many people, they asked them, "Where were you during this incident?" And a lot of people were laying down, and they were like, "Wait a minute, we want you back over here." They were telling the people where to actually be when they redid everything. Did
Yeah,
you hear
I
that?
remember. I remember what you're talking about.
Why would they
And
do
a lot
something
of
like that for?
well, here's the problem with that.
Mhm.
And I know what you're referring to.
Yes.
The problem with that is when people started to argue
Mhm.
and said, "No, that's not where I was."
Right.
They were threatened.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Do you know how many people died since the let me explain something to you.
Mhm.
Almost all the witnesses are dead, either natural or not. Okay. A lot of the witnesses were eliminated by what's called a witness elimination team. Because these are people with no hearts, no souls, and no conscience, and
Mhm.
they'll kill you and then they'll sleep like a baby. Because the government, particularly the CIA, they hire sociopaths, mercenaries
Mhm.
to do their dirty work. And they're very, very fucking good at it.
Oh,
They're very
absolutely.
good at it. Let's take a look. Okay. And there's the shot.
Wow. Yeah, because of the way he grabbed onto her, you could tell something was going on, and that's why it's like, well, looks
Now,
like it,
I
but I'm gonna
want
ask.
you to see something.
Mhm.
I want you to see something. Now, take a look at this. This is the Zapruder film.
Mhm.
And we're going to stop this a couple times.
Okay.
You see that sign that we're coming up on there?
Yes, the silver sign right there. Uh-huh.
Yep. Okay. Just think about something. That sign is in the perfect spot
Mhm.
to cover the first shot. Okay. The president's already been shot here, but you can't see it because that sign is there.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the interesting thing. When they went back, the sign was gone.
Hmm.
And there are people who live in Dallas who said they never saw that sign before.
Wow.
And there are people in Dallas who said they've never seen it again.
Hmm.
Which leads me to think if Abraham Zapruder did this film, he had to be part of the cover up.
I would say
Because look where the sign is.
yes, right in front of it. You can't really see anything right there.
You see the president's
He's
grabbing
scrolling
his
on
neck.
his neck. Yeah. And he's leaned over to the left, so it had to have been somebody shooting him from the front. Oh, there it is, right there.
Yep, there's the kill shot. And both shots came from the front.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. By the way, Amelia,
Mm-hmm.
see that sign right
Yes.
there?
Uh-huh.
That's the one you were talking about that said it looked dark.
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
I want you to see why it looks dark. Watch.
Oh, okay, because it's right there by
Okay.
the.
Because look where it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's shading. It's the shade.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, let's take a look at this. There's the okay. You see that right there?
Yes. Uh-huh.
All right. This came, by the way, this was from CNN. That's a real clip from CNN.
Wow, look at that. It's right there.
You see?
Mm-hmm.
There's his badge. There's the muzzle blast. There's the guy's face.
Have they ever thought about like reopening the case and maybe still charging people, or is it because they can't anymore
They'll
because
never open it.
they never will?
They'll never open it. There's too many people. This is a case that will never go away, but it will never be reopened again, ever. I want you to look at this.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the guy's face. You can actually see his face.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget now.
Badge is right there.
This here, what you're looking at, is blown up several times.
Yes.
Okay, follow me here. The
Yes.
muzzle blast, where the arrow is, you can see that.
Mm-hmm.
The face, you can see that. There's his hair.
Yes.
There's the police badge right there. They call him the badge man. If you look at the president's already slumped over.
Mm-hmm.
He's already been hit because there's the muzzle blast. It's still coming out of the gun.
Mm-hmm.
All right? But let's watch it.
And I followed it for so many seconds, and then I did
This woman's name, her last name is Mormon.
take the picture.
Just as the shutter snapped, there was a shot. And this is what Mrs. Mormon found in her Polaroid camera.
This woman captured the moment he got hit
Oh, wow.
with an Instamatic camera. Remember, you got to remember something. There was no digital cameras back in
Not back then,
1963. You had two kinds of cameras: film or film.
Right.
That's it. Film or film. Okay. Badge man. The badge man is in the background. You can see him right there.
Mm-hmm. There it is, and there's the blast right there. I can
See
it.
him? See now that you see his silhouette, it makes more sense, doesn't it?
Yes. Uh-huh.
There's his badge. There's his arm patch, shoulder patch.
Mm-hmm.
There's his hairline. You can see his hair combed kind of like that. You know, you can see you can actually see he's wearing glasses.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
This is just after he gets killed. Everybody's running up there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and these are all the police officers at the time. All right, questions for me.
Yeah, and so it was the 2 shots instead of the 1 shot, like they were saying then, like they've been telling everybody.
Yeah,
basically.
there were a minimum. Because what they done is they separated all the gunshots.
Mm-hmm.
There were at least 7 gunshots in Dealey Plaza in Texas that day. The 2 kill shots, the one to the neck and the one to the head, they were from the badge man. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The badge man is the person you just saw. Okay, the shooter. The other 4 or 5 gunshots came from in Dealey Plaza from other police officers.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know where these people were, how they didn't get caught. I got a pretty good idea how they didn't get caught, because it's they're in. It's hard. It's hard to get caught when you're part of the crew.
Right. Well, also too, how did they know it was Lee Harvey Oswald right away? I mean, how did they say it was him?
Oh, wait a minute. Thank you. I was waiting for you to say this. I was waiting for you to say this.
Because I mean, think about it. They didn't have the technology like we do now to say, okay, that was them. How,
Well, let's take a look. I'm going to answer that question. Here you go.
Because he had a lot of friends in the French Quarter, and that were involved with.
This is Sam Giancana.
Okay.
Okay. He was a gangster, very connected to the government. The guy with him in that picture is Johnny Rosselli. Johnny Rosselli happened to be the nephew of a huge Chicago gangster. Okay. But his most important quality is that he was gay.
Oh.
And J. Edgar Hoover liked him.
Oh.
Because J. Edgar Hoover swung both sides of the fence. Okay? And that's true. I'm not making that up.
Right.
Please check everything out, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yes, of course.
Well, they believed in Santeria.
They're in the civil.
Okay, here's Lee. Lee Harvey Oswald didn't become a suspect. He was created to be a suspect. Remember what I said at the beginning of the show. Lee Harvey Oswald was a United States citizen. He was a member of the Marines, a decorated member of the Marines. He fell in love with a woman in Russia. Okay. You fall in love with people.
Oh, of course.
It doesn't matter where they live. You fall in love with somebody, right?
Right.
He asked to go back to Russia. In fact, I have it right here. He asked for permission.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to read you his letter. I have it in front of me. But yes, this is the letter.
Mm-hmm.
It's a handwritten letter from Lee Harvey Oswald. And I want to read it to you. It says, affidavit of support. I, Lee Harvey Oswald, affirm that I have the ability and desire to support my wife, Marina, from such time as she shall become a resident of the United States. I have no obligations of support to any other person, and I have no other debts, expenses, or obligations to any firm or individual. I am fully employable in the occupational fields of metals and electronics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Which is, keep in mind what I said, metals and electronics. Because in the military, he was an electronics expert.
Mm-hmm.
Plans have been made for my wife to reside with me in Vernon, Texas, at the residence of my mother, Mrs. M. Oswald. So he wrote that letter, okay? Because he wanted to bring his wife here.
Yes.
But they weren't going to send her over. He had to go back and get her, which means at his expense.
Right.
Okay.
So he had to kind of get a passport.
Here's what, yes. And I just so happen to have his passport. Okay. How about that? I just happen to have his passport.
And of course, that would not look good for him leaving the country right at the time that the president got shot, of course. And it just happened to coincide
Oh boy,
with
you got
that, right?
no. Stop. You're embarrassing yourself. Stop. That's not even close.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought.
No,
That
that's
kind of
not even
figured
close.
around that
No.
time.
No. This is the document. This document here is what Lee Harvey Oswald had to fill out in order to go back to Russia. And then he had to get this renewed.
Oh.
This is his actual passport. It's a copy of his actual, I should say, actual passport. The real passport is probably in the National Archives somewhere. You know? And I'm sure they know where it's at. But here's the thing, though. Think about all this documentation. They knew about him long before the president got to Dallas. They were grooming him to be you're going to hear he's going to say himself that he was a patsy. Watch.
Oswald was first charged with shooting Officer Tippit after the assassination. Then suddenly, he was also charged with the murder of President Kennedy. His detention was unusual. No legal counsel, no records kept of his long interrogation.
Did you hear what he said?
Yeah, no legal counsel, no records kept.
Exactly. Who does that?
Exactly.
Who does that?
You're supposed to be all that.
They knew this guy was going to end up dead. That's why they did it.
His intelligence training.
I told you, they groomed him to be a patsy.
It dawned on him that he was being set up as the scapegoat of the century.
There you go. I just said it. Said it. Now, look at this. I hope they bring out the rifle. Look at what they want you to believe that this rifle killed the president.
As dispatches you people have been given, but I emphatically deny these charges. Oswald is...
Here comes the man again.
I don't know what this is all about.
Sir?
You
shoot the president?
I work in that building.
Were you in the building at the time?
Naturally, if I work in that building, yes, sir.
Back up, man.
Well, no, they're taking me in because of the fact that I lived in the Soviet Union. I'm just a patsy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you hear what he said? I'm a
Yeah, he
patsy.
says that. Mm-hmm.
They set this guy up so fucking bad, it's ridiculous.
Why did they choose him of all people? I mean, couldn't they? Did they research him to
Because he would, because he was outspoken.
Mhm.
He was one of those guys. He was very smart,
Mhm.
very outspoken, and he knew what he was talking about. That makes him dangerous to the government in 1963.
And they beat him up. It looks like too, didn't they?
They beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Look at that.
Watch it. Oh, it gets worse. Watch. Because you're going to see some pictures here, and then you got to think: is it really Oswald?
Yeah.
Looking back, it's obvious that Oswald had to be eliminated for the plan to work. He knew too much and was in too deep.
I just said that.
Mm-hmm.
The man selected for the hit was mafia-connected, gun-running nightclub owner Jack Ruby. Ruby later claimed that hidden forces were behind the assassination of JFK.
The world will never know.
First of all, Jack Ruby shot Oswald in the stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I have a question about this. He shoots him in the stomach. There's a police officer standing right behind Oswald. How did he not get hit?
Yeah, because he's so skinny, it would have gone right through him.
It would have gone right through. Thank you.
Yeah.
You made my point. You made my point for me.
Yes.
Listen to Jack Ruby, because you're going to hear him a couple times.
The world will never know the true facts of what occurred, my motives. The people that had so much to gain and had such a material motive for putting me in a position I'm in will never let the true facts come above board to the world.
Jack Ruby just told you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
He told you it's out of my hands, it's bigger than me, and I made a deal with the devil. Now I'm paying for it.
Yep, and he had to do what he was told.
Yeah.
Now these people are in very high positions, Jack. Yes.
You notice he never looks up.
No.
He never looks up. You're going to see a very different Jack Ruby. Watch. All right, this is a Bruder film again. Let's watch this again. Look at Jackie.
Looks like she has something in her left hand.
Look at Jackie. Yes, watch. Just watch. You tell me. You tell me, Amelia. Now, does that look like she dropped the gun?
Mm-hmm. Looks like she dropped something because she had something in her hand of some sort.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Watch. I have examined this film. I'll bet you, honestly, I bet you I examined this film, that clip, probably 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
And I can make an argument for it. All right, now look at where her arms are.
And it looks like, yeah.
Okay.
And of course, she's wearing gloves, so they never bothered to check her gloves for gunpowder residue or anything like that, like they would back then.
She's the first lady of the United States. You think they're going to do that? And
I
her
would question
husband
everybody.
and her husband's the president, and he's dead in the car next door.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. And then whenever they were, when the vice president was getting made as president, she would just stand there like this. I know it was a blank face, but I would be like crying my eyes out still as somebody else would be named president.
Let's listen to this. Let's listen to this.
I really don't know what the situation is about. Nobody has told me anything except that
He's standing there. He's been arrested, and he don't know why. Okay.
I'm accused of murdering a policeman. I know nothing more than that, and I do request for someone to come forward to give me a legal assistance.
Did you kill the president?
No, I've not been charged with that. In fact, nobody has said that to me yet. The first thing I heard about it was when the newspaper reporters in the hall asked me that question.
You have been.
Nobody said what? Sir?
You have been.
Nobody said what? Okay, man.
Okay. What did you do in Russia?
A policeman hit me.
Somebody punched him in the face, didn't they? Or his eye. Looks like he had
Yeah,
a black eye.
the reporter asked him, "How'd you get a black eye?" He said, "A policeman hit him."
Maybe it would make it look like he was fighting back or something.
No, they just beat the shit out of him. That's what they did. Let me get this.
Another charge to probably charge him with.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see something here. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Jack Ruby is holding a press conference in this clip, and you're going to hear him. He's going to say some very odd shit.
Mm-hmm.
That if you have to read in between the lines, because it doesn't really make sense on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
But now that you've seen everything and heard everything,
Mm-hmm.
listen to what he's saying.
Okay.
And tell me if it makes sense to you now. Let's watch it.
Facing God. Yet people can go on being inseparable in their feelings in love to their brother, regardless of what faith they believe in. This was proven to me in my incarceration. He's Protestant.
Now, Amelia,
I will not.
You mentioned before that Orville Nix looked like he was reading off of like a teleprompter, or
yes.
Look at Jack Ruby. He looks
he's reading off of something.
He's reading. He's obviously upset. He's got tears in his eyes, and his bottom lip is protruding out.
Yeah.
And he looks very, very upset.
I think he was threatened.
But what he's saying is on the bottom of the screen there, so you can read the words.
Yes.
He's Protestant. I will not go into that, except that he lets me believe in the origin of Genesis and all these various starting of the world, and he enlightened me to these various parts of religion that I didn't grasp, because if you go to the synagogue or the temple,
Jack, did you get to associate with the other churches at all?
we speak, but I'm separated from them.
Very well by the sheriff. Treated very well.
You know what he's talking about, right?
I should say this. I think of any of you writers, and I know.
Writers.
You know what he's talking about.
It did not make sense to me, but from what I
Well,
got from it,
I saw the look on your face. That's why I
yeah,
jumped in here
yeah,
because you look
because
like you're getting lost.
well, I mean, because it sounded like he was on some kind of medication that they had him on medication at once. That's what it
Well,
kind of looked like
here's
to
the
me.
thing. He's talking about.
Hmm.
Remember, he's Jewish.
Right.
He's talking about speaking
Hmm.
to a Catholic priest.
So it didn't make sense to him what he was telling him then.
Yes, because he's
Hmm.
talking about other religions and
Hmm.
how the world was created and all that. Okay,
Hmm.
so he's talking about his conversation with a Catholic priest.
Objector is going to isolate me after this.
Well, you wouldn't want your fellow that writes the Saturday Evening Post to wish that on him, though, would you? Feel the same way about his deputies, too, don't you?
Yes. Very human. Very understanding. I think Dallas is fortunate to have.
He was forcing the words out of his mouth for one, and he was reading off of something, and he didn't want to read
I
the words.
absolutely believe that he
Hmm.
was reading off of something. I really believe that.
Yeah, because he was crying because he was like, I hate to do this. He's thinking to himself, I hate to do this, but I'm having to read this because if I don't read this, I'm going
Yeah.
to go back to jail or something. Or
Yeah.
he said something about his brother, and he may have put that in there to tell his family, if I don't read this, then they're going
Yeah.
to kill my brother or family. I think he put that in there.
I want to see something real quick.
I think that's what he was trying to say, and they let him slip that
Yeah,
in there.
probably. I wouldn't doubt
Mhm.
that. Let me just see something real quick. I want because there's and while I'm doing this,
Mhm.
I want you to think if there's any questions you'd like to ask. So, was there anything that you've seen that you want to ask about?
Well, why would they falsify the documents as well? That's another question that we didn't get into.
Oh, why would they falsify them?
Yeah, that
That
was
answer,
another question.
that answer is very, very simple.
Mhm.
Think about it.
Mhm.
If you falsify a document, it doesn't exist. You're making a document up. You're making it up literally.
Mhm.
You know?
Right. And then also too, it's like they are wanting to hide something, like you said. They're wanting to go to Vietnam to get the drugs to bring it all over here to become rich and famous. Like the vice president wanted to,
document of the assassination.
Yeah, don't worry. I got this on pause for a second.
Okay,
So go ahead, you
and he
continue.
wanted to become rich and rich and everything, bring all that over here. And do you also think that maybe they threatened him too, that if he doesn't comply with them, that he would be the next
Oh
one?
my God, yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. Everybody involved in the early stages of this was threatened to keep quiet, to shut up. If you open your mouth, you'll die. I'm telling you, over 70, listen to what I'm saying to you. Over 70 people, as many as 75 people that were part of the John F. Kennedy assassination, either witnesses,
Mhm.
bystanders, participants, have died horrible deaths. Okay?
Hmm.
We believe, however, that we know the name of President Kennedy's shooter. We believe he was a Secret Service agent of a mercenary status named Ricky White, from Texas, in fact. So he knew the lay of the land. He
Right.
knew Dealey Plaza very, very well. There were a lot of people involved in this. Let's see. Oh, hold on, Amelia. Have you
Oh,
guys
okay.
discussed Dorothy Kilgallen? Not yet, Kevin. Not yet. We haven't, but we will.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about people that have died.
Mm-hmm.
Dorothy Kilgallen is one of those people who was murdered as a direct result of her involvement and her knowledge of the Kennedy assassination. Dorothy Kilgallen, by the way, thank you for bringing that up.
Oh yes, thank you.
Dorothy Kilgallen was a crackerjack reporter. She was like top notch. I love this woman because she had guts and she had balls and she had chutzpah. She also was the first person to say Lee Harvey Oswald did not do this, and she defended him. Well, what happens if you defend a guy like that?
You're gonna end up dead.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
exactly what happened.
Yep.
Let's take a look at this.
Pincushion distortion. That's a kind of a bending at the edges of the frame caused by the very cheap lens. He also states that the Stemmons freeway sign shows no pincushion distortion, entering straight with clearly defined verticals and horizontals throughout. If Costello is right, then the conspirators have been let down once again by a crude photographic forgery.
This is an absolute hack job. All right? Nobody stands like that.
No.
Nobody. What they did was they took Lee Harvey Oswald's face and they pasted it. You know, let's be honest with it. Copy and paste has been around a long time.
Oh yes, of course, especially in the
Since
movies.
the 1940s, Amelia.
Mm-hmm.
Since the 40s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what they've done here, this is nothing new.
No.
Which was good enough to convict a dead man in 1963 and 64, but which hasn't stood the test of time.
Mm-hmm.
Case not closed.
And that's it. Case not closed.
Oh, definitely.
All right. Let me do this because I have to. Of course, tonight we are celebrating. Well, not celebrating. We're celebrating Amelia's birthday, but we're remembering
the
the horrific
assassination.
events of Dallas, Texas, November 22, 1963, when President John F. Kennedy was killed in broad daylight by an assassin's bullet. We know now it was a member of the Secret Service who took him out. Shortly after noon, on November 22nd, 1963, President John F. Kennedy was assassinated as he rode in a motorcade through Dealey Plaza in downtown Dallas, Texas. By fall of 1963, President Kennedy and his political advisors were preparing for his next presidential campaign. That's why he was in Dallas. Although he had not formally announced his candidacy, it was clear that the president was going to run, and he seemed confident about his chances for re-election. And he had every reason to be, because he was very popular. It wouldn't come out until after he died, all the bullshit that he was into. And suddenly he wasn't such a beloved figure. At the end of September of 1963, the president traveled west, speaking in 9 states in a week. That's a lot of traveling.
Very much traveling.
The trip was meant to put a spotlight on natural resources and conservation efforts. But JFK also used it to sound out themes such as education, national security, world peace for his run in 1964. Amelia, you asked what would get him killed. I just told you what would get him killed. Talking about this kind of stuff.
Yes.
You got to remember something. People didn't want to talk about this back in the day. They just wanted to talk about how can we start a war and get some people killed and make some money. Okay.
Yeah.
Mrs. Kennedy would accompany him on the swing through Texas, which would be her first extended public appearance since the loss of their baby Patrick in August. On November 21st, the president and first lady departed Air Force One for the 2-day 5-city tour of Texas. Crowds of people lined the street and waved to the Kennedys. The car turned off of Main Street down Dealey Plaza around 12:30. As it was passing by the Texas Book Depository, gunfire broke out. Bullets struck the president's neck and head as he slumped over toward Mrs. Kennedy. Governor was struck in the back. That's not true. Governor Connolly was not struck in the back. They want you to believe he was. He was not. That's the truth. He was not. The car sped off the Parkland Hospital, just a few minutes away. But little could be done for the president. At that point, when you have half of your head hanging off, there's not much you can do. A Catholic priest was summoned to administer the last rites. At 1 p.m., the president was pronounced dead. Less than an hour earlier, police had arrested Lee Harvey Oswald, a recently hired employee at the Texas Book Depository. He was being held for the assassination of President Kennedy, for that fatal shooting, and for Dallas Patrolman Officer J.D. Tippit. Evidently, Officer Tippit was killed on a street by someone resembling Lee Harvey Oswald. All I want you to do, ladies and gentlemen, is to go on Google, okay, and type in the many faces of Lee Harvey Oswald. That's all I want you to do. Type in the many faces of Lee Harvey Oswald. And I'm not saying any more than that.
Right.
All
Well,
right.
it was the limo. The last minute was the limo a last minute to be without a top and as a 6-seater, 4-seater? Was it just going to be?
Okay, so the president, it's a good question. The president was advised to put the roof on the car. The Secret Service said, we'll drive through Dallas, but we're going to put the lid on the car. He said, no, I want to be able to see people. I want to be able to wave to them. I want them to see me. Fatal mistake. Okay. Because if these guys, and they knew he was going to say no.
Right.
Okay. But they asked him anyways, reverse psychology.
Right.
They said, Mr. President, we want to put the lid on the. Oh, no. We don't need it. We don't need it. The Dallas loves me. Okay. Famous last words. So there's a cast of characters here. The limousine you ask about.
Yes.
It was a 6-seater limousine.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I got to shake my head. On the cover of Life magazine,
yes,
there was a picture of a bloody back seat and red roses spewed all over the back of this car. But there was a problem, though. It was only a 4-seater, 2 up front, 2 in the back.
4-seater.
The president never rode in a 4-seater. It was always a 6-seater because that's what the presidential limousine looked like back then. Now the presidential limousine is bomb-proof. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's bomb-proof.
Bomb-proof, bulletproof, you name it.
You can't hurt that car. Even the tires you can't shoot, okay? I'm not even making this up.
And it's got built-in guns too and everything.
Yeah, it's like it's like a fortress on wheels.
Yes.
Okay? Well, I'm not even shitting you when I tell you this stuff. The president today has more security than any other world leader ever. I don't care what country you mention. The president of the U.S. has more security than all of them.
Oh, yes. Inside his own car, he's more safe than anything.
Yeah, no kidding. Air Force One and that car are the 2 safest means of travel. Because Air Force One could fly for a year and never have to worry about refueling because they'll send jets to fill it up.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Remarkable. Let's talk about the cast of characters. Abraham Zapruder, he is the Dallas dressmaker who who made the most famous home movie in history, the Zapruder film. Lee Harvey Oswald, the alleged shooter. Sam Giancana, the mob boss. Dallas police officer J.D. Tippit. Jackie Kennedy, president's wife. John Connally, the governor of Texas. Lyndon B. Johnson, vice president of the United States. Jack Ruby Rubenstein. Oswald's killer, Carlos Marcello, mob accomplice to Sam Giancana. Also, it's little known, but we now know that Carlos Marcellus was a paid informant of the CIA and worked under the auspices of J. Edgar Hoover under the FBI. So he was playing both ends against the middle.
Oh, yes.
The FBI, J. Edgar Hoover had an interest in Kennedy's removal. The CIA also. Allen Dulles, the head of the CIA, hated JFK. Both men knew that John F. Kennedy could not be controlled and had to go. Why? Here's why. Because President Kennedy did not want to go to Vietnam, but because Lyndon Johnson had a little bit of stroke with Allen Dulles. Because, again, where's Allen Dulles from? Where's he from?
Allen Dulles? I could not remember. Can you remind me about that?
He was from Washington, D.C., Maryland area. Why is that important? Because he was a political insider all his life. And he knew Lyndon Johnson for years. They were like this. They were buddies. That's why Allen Dulles was important. There's a photo that we used to promote this show. And if you look at Lyndon Johnson's face as he's looking over at President Kennedy, he had this eat shit and die look. Like they hated each other. Okay? Here's why John F. Kennedy chose Lyndon Johnson. Because he needed Texas. And Texas put them over. And that's why Lyndon Johnson became vice president and eventually president of the United States.
Selling the Zapruder film for like $16 million. How much would that be today?
Say this again. How much?
Selling the Zapruder film for like $16 million. How much would that be today? In today's money.
Today's money?
Yeah. I just want to tell the people how much that would be. Probably like what, 26 more million, something like that. Because that's a lot of money for that film to be sold.
I don't even know. 16 million back then?
Yeah, that's how much it was sold for, from what I understand. When I did the research, it was sold for $16 million.
Oh, no.
Was it more?
No, less.
Oh.
Much less.
Because I heard that there was
$16
million.
No, I have that right here. Life magazine.
Yeah, because I heard that they had went up to 16 million.
I have it right in my hand. I have it right in my little hands right here. Yeah. Okay, here we go. This is from Mr. James Rowley, Chief of the United States Secret Service. Dear Jim, to accommodate various investigative agencies such as the Warren Commission and the Secret Service, Life has had several copies of the Zapruder's assassination film made up. I believe the Secret Service is currently in possession of 2 of these copies.
Yes.
Why would the Secret Service need 2 copies?
So that way, in case they needed to re-show it again, if they needed to redo the film to make it more.
How about if they needed 2 copies to keep one original and doctor the other one?
Doctor 2 more if they needed it, or doctor it some more and some more and some more.
Listen to what they said. Listen to what the chief of the Secret Service, because he's like burying himself. We are most willing to have you hold on to these as long as you require them. But since there are quite a few copies, in existence, we do not want to keep track of and control them. Now, did you hear what I just wrote?
Yes.
What I just read. Okay. It says we do not want to keep track of
Track.
them,
Mm-hmm.
which is remarkable. I said I do want to stress that the film is the property of Time magazine. We assume that it will not be shown to anyone outside of the government, unless for official investigative purposes, and we of course expect that the film will be returned to us whenever your agency is finished with them. First of all, Life magazine retained ownership of the Zapruder film all the way up to 1968.
Because they wanted to turn it into a movie, but they never did, right?
At which point, a copy of the film, was returned to the Zapruder family, the family of Abraham Zapruder, because they petitioned the courts for it. They wanted their father's film. Yeah. And I can't blame them.
Right.
The other thing that became a point of contention is which one was the original?
Right.
There were so many copies. You just heard what I read. There were
Right.
so many copies floating around.
You're not going to know which
Which
was the real
one was the original? Well, I'm going to tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They lost the original.
How could you lose the original?
Thank you. The government lost the original.
They lost the original, huh?
No, I mean, no, not
Oh, really?
Quote, they lost it.
Oh, wow.
No, for real, they lost it. Yeah. They ended up getting it back for a hefty price, but they had fucking lost it. Interesting.
And I wonder if when they lost it and they got it back, I wonder if that person made a copy of it. You never know.
Well, I mean, think about it, Amelia. There's so many copies of this film running around. You know, at least there are 2 different copies of the Zapruder film that I personally have. What's disturbing is in one of them, it's very, very heavily edited. Like,
Yes.
a professional film person was involved with this because it's way too polished.
Oh, yes.
You know, it's way too polished to just be, run of the mill editing. This was like good editing.
Oh, absolutely.
Somebody knew what they were doing.
They got a few film experts to do that. So, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, do you have any questions? Shoot me some questions over here.
Yeah, I mean, after that,
We got a few minutes. We actually got a few minutes to play with.
When Jackie, of course, got back to Washington, D.C. and everything like that, did they quickly just tell her, okay, you got to leave the White House, or did they just give her some time to leave?
No, they gave her very little time.
Really?
They gave her very little time. She had to be out.
Oh, my goodness. So
Yeah.
she did their bidding and you're out now, basically?
When a new president is sworn in, they don't waste time. The minute a new president is sworn in, they're already changing the drapes. I'm not even kidding.
Wow.
There's a picture, and you can find it on the internet. There is a picture of moving trucks on the driveway of the White House the day that Jimmy Carter was leaving and Ronald Reagan was being sworn in.
Wow, that fast.
The minute, and I'm not even shitting you, the minute that Ronald Reagan became president,
Mhm.
Those moving trucks were hauling ass. They emptied that place in record time. By the way, all the people
Mhm.
that worked for the movers, they're all Secret Service and federal employees. Because nobody goes into the White House unless you've been thoroughly vetted.
Mhm.
Okay. I mean, you can't even go in now. You got to go through 7 security checkpoints. I'm
Mhm.
not even kidding you, folks.
Right.
You got to go through 7 security checkpoints to even get in. And you're not getting nowhere near the president. I could tell you
No.
that right now. You're not getting nowhere near the Oval Office. You can forget that.
When he was sworn in, Lyndon B. Johnson as president, what was his basically his first of duty was to announce that the president that was died, or what was basically him?
No. He was sworn in as president
Mhm.
in an airplane,
Mhm.
the same airplane that had President Kennedy's body in it.
Wow, that
As he listen to this one, you're gonna love this. As he's being sworn in, his wife is smiling, and Alan Dulles on the airplane with him is winking at him like this. It's on film. You
like
can
we
see it.
did it,
Like
kind of thing.
we did it.
Mhm.
And they sure the fuck did too. But Jackie Kennedy hated the Johnsons, hated them with a passion, didn't like anything, and couldn't stand Lady Bird Johnson. That woman was a scumbag. I hate to speak of women that way, but she was a scumbag.
So she's probably thinking, "Oh, now I could get to do what I want
And
since
her
I'm the
husband was
first
a
lady."
bigger scumbag because he had blood all over his hands.
Mhm. Thinking now I could do whatever I want now since I'm the first lady and I get to fix her mistakes, or I get to fix her ugly part of the way she did the house or whatever.
And the
Just-
first thing they did
Mhm.
was they kicked her ass out of the White House.
Didn't even give her time to tell her kids, "Hey, Daddy's dead," and basically.
Amelia,
Mhm.
let me tell everybody what was going on here. I gotta tell some. I got some stuff to tell. Yes, hold on.
Thank you so much for bearing with my cold, everyone. I'm so sorry that I'm.
All right, listen. I want to tell everybody we picked up 2 more radio stations.
Yay!
Gold 105.4 in Auckland, New Zealand, and Radioactive FM in Wellington, New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Something about New Zealand. I don't know what it is. Something about New Zealand. They love us, and hey, we love you guys.
Yes, we love you guys.
Love you, mate. Love you.
They like our accent. We like theirs too.
I want to tell everybody also be sure to listen to What's the Buzz podcast on all of your favorite platforms, including Spotify, Apple, iTunes Radio, iHeartRadio, Audible.com, Podbean, PodOwl, Podtail, Listen Up Radio, TuneIn Radio, and of course, everywhere where podcasts are heard. What's the Buzz podcast on the road, in the car, near or far, everywhere you are. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, everybody. We'll see you next week. Amelia, what's coming up next week for everybody?
We have on actually on November 29th, which will be Tuesday, we have September 11th. We're going to revisit that.
Yep, we're going to raise hell again with September 11th.
Yep, because we don't believe
I'm not satisfied with the answers that I'm getting.
No.
Not at all.
Nope.
So we are going to raise a stink.
Yep. And then
we're going to raise a lot of stink.
Right. And
I might even get Jeff Chapman out of retirement to come back on the show.
And then we're going to laugh a little bit. We're going to bring a little bit of comedy, a little bit into the changing the faces of comedy. We're going to bring back our old friend Mark Sotkin.
Mark Sotkin, who is the director,
Director,
producer,
producer.
writer of shows like Laverne and Shirley,
One of my
The
favorite.
Golden Girls,
Yes.
Blansky's Beauty, Golden Palace,
Charles in Charge.
Charles in
and
Charge.
Mhm.
Yes. Oh my God, please. All kinds of. Let me see. I got his. What else does he do? Let me see. I gotta get Mark.
And also a stand-up comedian, Aaron Emperor. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your last
Yeah,
name.
Aaron Arianpour.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, Mark Stockin is Laverne and Shirley, Blansky's Beauties, Gary Shandling show.
Yes.
It's a Living. It's one of my favorite shows. I love
Oh,
that
I
show.
love that show too.
The Sinbad show. Oh my God, Golden Girls. Of course, I mentioned that. That's the one he's best known for.
Oh yes, we love.
He's
the Golden
also
Girls.
written 3 books. He's also starred in a couple of short films, and he created. Listen to this one. He created a cartoon about senior citizen superheroes.
Oh yes.
They're called the Improbables. You
Mhm.
go on YouTube and check it. Actually, go to marksotkin.com because everything's he's got all that shit on there. I wanted to do something a little different for me. I'm a little serious.
Mhm.
It's been a rough year
Mhm.
for my family. I lost my dad in January. 4 years ago, I lost my sister. She was very ill. She hit both of her legs were amputated, and she was married to a piece of shit that nobody liked. But I'm not going to dwell on that. I have to forgive and get over it. And I apologize for calling him a piece of shit. It's been a rough year. So I want you to know that I know that a lot of you out there have had a rough year too. I want you to know you're not alone. We've come through this like a family.
Yes.
We'll get through this like a family. Amelia and I are here. We have been through thick and thin. We have seen how many co-hosts come and go.
And I'm happy to be a part of the show. I didn't know,
And I'm happy that you're still here.
It's just I love to
You
be a
know,
part
my
of
wife said, Anita said,
Mhm.
my wife Anita, by the way.
Mhm.
My
I love
wife
you, Anita.
said,
By the
yeah,
way.
right. My wife said, if I were Amelia, I would have left your ass. That's what she's invested in the show. She's got time and energy invested in the show. She can't leave me now.
Well, we
Anyway,
created What's the
but that's
Buzz
what I want to
together.
tell
So.
everybody.
Mhm.
It's been a bad couple of years. So let's take this Thanksgiving and really be thankful and really be grateful for all that we have. And you know what else I say to people? Be grateful for what you don't have.
Yes.
Because you could have some other people's problems and you don't.
No.
So be grateful not just for what you have, but be grateful for what you don't have. I'm grateful every day
Mhm.
that I wake up, that I have my health and my breath and my wife, that I have a good life here in this home. I have a daughter that loves me. I have another daughter that doesn't know I exist. And I'm even thankful for her and my granddaughter who doesn't know I exist. But that's okay. And is it hard to deal with? Yeah, it is. I grieve every day over not being able to talk to my daughter. I grieve every day that I can't see my dad. But I talk to him every day. And if you close your eyes, those loved ones that have lost, that we've all lost, you can see them as clearly as if they're standing next to you.
Oh yes.
Closing your eyes will make a big difference in life. Well, I'll tell you what, folks. It's not often that you hear me talk like this, but tonight, because we're on the verge of Thanksgiving, I thought it was maybe time. Maybe time we get a little serious, talk a little bit. So thank you for being with us. This is we're closing out the end of a year pretty soon, Amelia.
Yes, we are.
Closing out the end of a year pretty soon, and we'll be come January. We're gonna hit with new shows and new energy and different kind of
Surprising, shocking shows.
surprisingly shocking and a lot of crazy people that we know and met, and we're going to bring some unusual. Oh, by the way,
Yes.
speaking of crazy people, I got a phone call from the police today.
Ooh, wow, crazy and police.
No, it was a good call. The police are going to join us, not
Oh,
the
good.
police, the singing group, folks. Not the police, the singing group with Sting. No,
No.
it's the real police with the badges and the guns. They called me today. They're coming on the show in February.
Oh, good.
February 28th for the new face of law enforcement. And in fact, it's funny because the woman I spoke to today, we're doing the show on February 28th, and she retires on March 1st.
Oh, wow.
The next day.
No wonder she's coming on the show.
Right? Yeah. I said, you'll be perfect. Come on. So listen, for Amelia, the Pitbull. The Pitbull Chapman. I am Angelo, the Mad Dog, baby. We will see you next time. Next Tuesday, in fact. We'll see you. Be good to each other, folks. And stay kind, okay?
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
You bet. Take care.
What's the buzz time?